What's up, guys? This is K-Lo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Community Kitchen, where we are cooking up the latest and greatest gaming news headlines today. And who better to join me this week than Aden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hey, what do you say about a person who is extra squishy?
What?
Ubisoft.
Oh,
Oh, pun for the win.
you know, for the sake of what this week is, we're going to switch things up and thank everybody who is liking and subscribing here to Game Sandwich. And if you're new here, consider following us on this gaming adventure here in the wild. Now, bad jokes aside, I think today's subject matter, while I want to remain high on gaming news this week, switch to direct tomorrow, it's finally coming. But this kind of snuck in, and we're not letting it slide. Aiden, Ubisoft is doing something. They're up to something. They're up to something big.
Yeah.
And apparently Tencent is involved because they now have 25% stake in Ubisoft, and this is resulting in some type of subsidiary that does include Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and a whole bunch of smaller studios under that Ubisoft umbrella. Now, I want to pass this off to you first, because at some point in this video, I'm going to rant. So, what do you think about all this?
Uh, I'm sorry. I'm just still thinking about my joke. I am so proud of myself for just like coming up with that on the fly.
That was a good one. I didn't even know where it was
Uh,
going, but
I'm
hats
just
off to
like,
you.
oh. I feel so proud of myself. Pat on my back on that one. I deserve it. Comment more bad jokes, please. Give me Ubisoft jokes. I need more. But I'm I mean, this whole thing, I'm just gonna just point out that we called this like ages ago. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember how long ago it was. We did a video on Ubisoft that was specifically like talking about, oh, is Ubisoft going to be like exist in like a year from now? And I was like, I mean, probably, but just not in the way that we remember it, or like not in the way it currently is. It'll probably be bought out by somebody. And
Yeah.
now Tencent is buying large chunks of it. So I feel proud of myself again for that. That one's a pat on the chest instead of the back because I don't feel like reaching around.
It's deep in
But
your heart. Deep in your
it
heart.
is. But also, like, I'm going to be, before your rant, I'm just going to say I wholeheartedly agree with you because you already said that you're going to be negative, and I wholeheartedly agree with you and just say, I want to just see Ubisoft burn at this point. While I did love Far Cry, I just want to see Ubisoft burn.
Now, I also am leaving out a big part of this. It was purchased for $4.3 billion. 4 billion euros, if you want the conversion of how they actually did this thing. But Yves Guillemot, who is Ubisoft CEO, is basically saying this is so that Ubisoft IPs get known the world over, and this is a big moment for the company. And to that, I say, like, all right, you do realize you could have done this on your own if you just made your games good. Like, am
Yeah.
I missing something here?
Also, am I the only one who just realizes their games are known the world over?
Yeah,
It's not like they aren't. Assassin's Creed Shadows is known the world over. It's not like it isn't. Ubisoft just did terribly with the game and like upset the Japanese community a lot.
now I'm trying to find the exact quote here because I don't want to mince words here because, again, stuff like this can get really murky. Um, Basically, what I am trying to say here is here. They want to, quote, boosting these franchises so they become undisputed global icons. I think Assassin's Creed is very well known. Rainbow Six Siege, very well known in the esports community. Far Cry, take it or leave it. I don't know. Maybe that one's the one he's specifically talking about. But I do think Assassin's Creed is very well up there. It got a live action movie. It's very well to do. Shadows is doing surprisingly well. Not well enough, but doing well enough to kind of keep this barge afloat. And yeah, like the main problem I have here is, what is this going to do for the games? Sure, you can get Ubisoft, the company, out of the red as far as money goes, but let's just say they got Assassin's Creed Hexy coming up. They got the other Assassin's Creed that's set in a different time. I forgot the exact time period. But if they continue to churn out games like they did and continue to do that, it's like, what's the point in all this? Like, what is the grand scheme? What's the thing that's gonna get these IPs beloved the world over? Like, I don't. What am I missing? Like, Yeez Guillemot, please tell me what I'm missing.
I mean, I have no idea what you're missing. Like I said, like, I agree with you completely. The games have gone downhill. Assassin's Creed 4, for instance, was amazing. I hear, I've never played it. I'm not going to pretend like I have played it. I hear it's one of the best, though. And then I have played them since they became progressively more RPG-like. And the more RPG-like they make them, the less I like them. And I just feel like that's just a big downfall for the Assassin's Creed franchise in general. And I've seen so many people say that, like, Shadows, for instance, is just a million times better if you play it with guaranteed assassination mode on, because then you don't have to worry about your gear and everything. You can just, like, jump down and just kill people and have fun and have it be Assassin's Creed. But I mean, I'm a big fan of the Far Cry series personally, and like Far Cry peaked with 3 and 4. Like with playing with Vaz. Oh my God, Vaz was amazing.
So good.
He will forever be like one of the best villains ever created. But Far Cry 3 and 4, they were so good. And then when it came to 5, that's when it started going downhill. It was still a good game, still loved it, but then 6 didn't feel that great. And also Primal wasn't that good either. I know that one came out before. And like New Dawn was just like not that great of a spinoff either. And so it's like, really, Far Cry is starting to go downhill. I know Assassin's Creed has been going downhill for a while, and people have been like, it's hit or miss. Like Valhalla was good, but Odyssey people didn't like as much. And so really it's just like, I agree with you in the sense of, if they were to actually focus and make really good games again, then they'd be more well-renowned, and they wouldn't have the issue of needing to sell them part of themselves off in order to stay afloat.
That's my thing too. Like, I personally do like games like Odyssey and Valhalla. I'm playing Mirage right now. I'm gonna be playing Shadows a lot. I've gotten into it. Not too much to say like, oh, this is the greatest game ever, but I've played it. It's pretty damn fun. My problem here is, earlier last year, I was about to say this year, but my concept of time is totally off. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I keep going back to that title as the tentpole thing of why Ubisoft is failing, as far as this game was critically well received, and then they're like, yeah, you didn't sell as many copies, so studio shut down, we're not doing anything with this game further. It's like, no, there's that game that's well known the world over. There's everything you want, but you're shutting down the studio. Again, it goes down to fundamentals, how they make these games, and this applies to any developer out there. That's just the way life is nowadays. But for Ubisoft to be here and say like, oh, like, this is so we can execute a thing we've been talking about behind the scenes. What is that thing? Like, we're sitting here after Assassin's Creed Shadows. You talked about a Far Cry extraction shooter or something like that. Far Cry, like you said, hasn't been hot lately. But it's like, you're in this weird spot now. Now that you're backed by Tencent, 25% stake, there's a lot of, like, hands in the kitchen here. And now, I just need to know how this translates to the games. Like, is the next Assassin's Creed gonna be back to normal? Is the next Far Cry gonna hit? Is the next, they have Rainbow Six X, I think it's called. Like, what's that gonna be? Like, it's very interesting how Ubisoft is going about this.
Now, Kevin, you're not asking the big questions here. You're not.
I'm very
I appreciate you, but you're not asking the big questions.
Bigger questions.
When is Ubisoft going to be making an anime game? They are
Hmm.
like part of them is owned by Tencent now. When are we going to see an Assassin's Creed anime title that has a
Hmm.
very overly convoluted story?
But they already have overly convoluted stories in Assassin's Creed. Once it started getting to those alien things, I was like, all right, we can calm down a little bit. One thing I do want to note here, I looked at who Tencent kind of owns or has a big stake in. They're part of Riot Games, Epic Games, Supercell, and some of those people own like Clash of Clans, of course, Epic Games with Fortnite, and then Riot Games, League of Legends. Is this going to be a thing where, like with Fortnite, let's just say, are we going to see Assassin's Creed collaborations? Are we going to start seeing Rayman or stuff like that? To me, I don't.
Probably.
Yeah, like I don't think Ubisoft is in any kind of situation to say no to anything and say no, we're too good for that. Like we're too well off, or like Assassin's Creed is fine. It's not fine. A lot of people will tell you it's not. Despite like Shadows again, pretty fun time, but pretty fun doesn't do well in their eyes, and it doesn't do well in investors' eyes. And yeah, like Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think I want to look up the official rating. Oh, well, Google has it at a 2.8. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Steam, it's a 9 out of 10. Again, like this release shouldn't have been the thing you put all your chips on. Because what if this title didn't do good? What if the person running the social media account didn't ratio Elon Musk and then that suddenly resulted in sales for the game? It's just, I don't understand Ubisoft. And it's crazy to think how at one point in time they were making Far Cry 4, Far Cry 3, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Like, where did that sauce go? You know? I'm kind of just, I'm at a loss for words.
I mean, I am too, more or less. I'm just like in that boat of, Ubisoft is going downhill. I miss when they made extremely good games. Like, I've never been a fan of Assassin's Creed, I will admit to that, but I've still enjoyed some of them. I
Yeah.
enjoyed Odyssey for what it was. I never played Valhalla. Origins was good to me, I thought. And so, I mean, they're hit or miss for me. Syndicate I thought was pretty good, even though a lot of people seem to hate that one. I don't know why. But that one was pretty good to me. And, like I miss the age of the old school style that they used to have. And like I also just miss the age of like older like Far Cry games, cuz like Far Cry used to be amazing to me. But then their games became, you know what I think it is? I just thought about it. I feel like it's because a lot of their games became the same game.
Oh, yeah. No, like Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed, that
yeah.
three. Those three of them, Odyssey, Origins, and
No,
Valhalla,
like
were all copy and paste.
yeah, but not just that though. Far Cry is nothing more than just Assassin's Creed. That's really all it is, except you
First
don't
person.
use gear.
Yeah.
Like instead, you
Yeah.
just use a skill tree, and you
Damn.
don't really need gear. But like, really, just think
Okay.
about it. What's different between the two? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, the story's different, but like, you go through the game and like you have the same interactions with like NPCs, like where you have to climb towers and stuff to do things, or like, you know, I feel like that's kind of been their downfall actually. Now that I actually think about that, I'm like, I feel like they spent so much time going, we need to get our open worlds down to the point where it's like the same thing in every game almost.
Well, that's the thing too with their game development. They jumped the shark. They released Origins, and then they were like, "All right, Assassin's Creed is no longer this semi-open world. It's not like story-driven. It's an RPG. It's very open, very go do whatever you want." Afterwards, it's like, all right, the next game comes around. How do we get bigger? What else do we put in the game? What else is this? The bubble is just growing and it's burst, arguably. So with them releasing Mirage, they're kind of like, all right, I think people still want that smaller scale yet good story, this is Assassin's Creed, and this is, I'm just gonna say, Far Cry. And yeah, and then I'm sitting here like, you got IP like Rayman. Rayman used to be poppin'. There was that 2D whatever one that came out that was like really well received. I think it was like Rayman Legends. It's like, what are you doing with that? Like, why not give it to Nintendo to put on like NSO or whatever?
Yeah.
Put them in Smash. I don't, like, at that point, I don't know. But like, do something with it. You want these IPs known, try expanding your horizons. We talked about X Defiant. Weren't they gonna have an Assassin's Creed thing where they were like doing the collab, and then they canceled it and were like, whatever.
No, they sunsetted the game, and then they added the assassins in, and people love the assassins in that game.
But the game isn't there anymore. Oh.
Yeah. It's like the people who are still playing it really like the assassins and enjoy the content that they made. And another thing about X Defiant 2 that people really like is that the one map, the forest or whatever, it's from Rayman, and it has like the lums like in a bunch of places, and like you can like go around and collect lums and stuff. And it's like people immediately after that update was released, when they like went, okay, here, have all the seasonal content we planned on releasing up until like season 7 or something. Yeah. And I'm like, everyone just like kept saying the same thing where they went, why wasn't this in the base game, or why wasn't this like all of this season 1 or something, or like just within the first couple seasons?
Yeah.
They were like, we need more of this.
Well, that's that's my problem. It's like, all right, you can sell 25% stake, just 25. Is that fundamentally going to change anything? Like, is 25% going to be enough to get Ubisoft back on track? I personally don't think so. I think because of the decisions they're making like that, what they did with Prince of Persia, what they're doing with Assassin's Creed, it's just like, this is just to kind of put the Band-Aid over the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly it is at this point. Like I said from the beginning, I want Ubisoft to kind of just crash and burn. I'm okay with them being gone. And it's sad to say, because I used to love them so much.
I love Assassin's Creed, but I'm sitting here, granted, I'm not a harsh critic where I'm like, this game is objectively horrible. I'll play it. I eat the slop. Fully admit that. But at the same time, I'm like, I see companies do this and like close down studios, layoffs, and I'm like, you're just stupid. Like at that point, you're just plain dumb, and you're not managing these things right when you know what you could be doing. And yeah, it's so bad. But do we have any final thoughts here about Ubisoft and this merger / subsidiary, whatever it is they're calling it?
No, not anything other than I am sad now.
Oh yeah. All I'm saying is, and I don't want to jinx it, I'm gonna knock on wood, I hope this doesn't result in any layoffs, or they're like, hey, we gotta downsize to kind of, do the money thing, and suddenly that becomes more and more real as like far as a headline I could see happening later this week. So who knows what they do now?
Who knows?
It reeks. It reeks of that.
Like I said, I'm sad at this point.
Yeah, but to avoid sadness, we consider joining our Discord to talk more about games, to vent your frustrations here. If you're new to Game Sandwich and you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, dropping a like on this here video. But as of right now, I've been K-Lo, joined by Aden, and we'll catch you here tomorrow for the Switch 2 Direct. We'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.